Yo, what's going on everyone? My name is Damien, also known as QB. How's everyone going today? Yes, we are back for another daily upload. And we have some more NBA bangers today. I'm not going to waste anyone's time. If you want daily NBA content and you're trying to learn a lot more about NBA, make sure to chuck me a subscribe and like the video. And yeah, without further ado, let's get stuck straight into it. The Cleveland Cavaliers and the Pacers have game 2 of their series. Obviously, the Cleveland Cavaliers having a rocky game 1 where the Pacers just came out and absolutely jumped them, but it was the complete opposite to start this game. The Cavaliers got up by as much as 20 points. Just absolutely putting the foot down, clamping up on defense, looking like, you know, their normal selves, even though there was no Evan Mobley, John Ray Hunter, or Darius Garland, who's still dealing with that toe injury. But man, down the stretch of this game, you would see everyone getting tired of. You just see a massive poster there by Donovan Mitchell. That is crazy. And you'll see his jersey number 45. That man scored 3 more points than his jersey number. He had 48 points in game 2 of this series. And after all of the highlight plays, after, you know, him just working his ass off, being so tired down the stretch, I know that man's body is sore. It just wasn't enough to get the job done against these Pacers. Halliburton with 19 points. Smith and Miles Turner, the player of the game by far, 23 points each. 5 big-time blocks from Miles Turner as well to go along with 8 rebounds. And Andrew Nembhard, man, he's the unsung hero for this Pacers team. Even when they're down by 20 in this game, that's the man that's always going to have his head up and he's going to keep fighting for possession after possession, fighting over all those hard screens, all the plays that they're running through. The Cavaliers are running. Just to always keep his head down and keep fighting no matter what the situation or what the score is. This is the second time, it's going to be the second time in the last 6 games, or shall I say the last 3 games, that Indiana Pacers are going to be down by 7 points or more in the last 50 seconds to come back and win. Are you serious? And this is just a crazy stat. When Tyrese Halliburton scores 19 points or more, his team is 26-4. Are you serious? And it's just so crazy that they ended up taking this game. They did it in dramatic fashion. But even though the injuries for the Cleveland Cavaliers, which I'm sure is going to be talked about, the Pacers aren't going to verse a fully healthy Cavaliers team, because they're obviously the better team, rah, rah, rah. But whatever the narrative may be, this Indiana Pacers team are for sure legit. Here we go again, down by 7, 1 minute and 6 seconds remaining. And this is where Tyrese Halliburton just starts getting aggressive. There's this layup after layup in the second half for the Indiana Pacers squad. Pascal Siakam almost froze the game for them. But look at Smith with the putback. Are you for real right now? They got him fired up again. Nembhard to Siakam. We go straight in for the layup. Just so many easy layups at the end of this game. How did the Cleveland Cavaliers lose this game? Donovan Mitchell with the foul. And it's just going to be crazy. If they don't get at least 2 of those guys back, it might be GG's, because obviously we know the record when you go down 3-0. Look at that. Tyrese Halliburton gets his own rebound from his missed free throw. In the clutch, the Cavs have to get that rebound. He cooks Ty Jerome step back. Oh my goodness, that is filthy. And that is going to steal game 2. Are you serious? The Cleveland Cavaliers have to get this shit sorted. They have to go try win at least 1 game on the road. But even then, you don't want to be down 3-1 either. And Tyrese Halliburton calls game. An unreal game from the Indiana Pacers. They go up 2-0, and we got treated yet with another special game 1. The Golden State Warriors are going to walk into Minnesota and put a beat down early on against this Minnesota Timberwolves team. The Minnesota team were halfway through the 3rd quarter when they hit their first 3-pointer of the game. Are you serious? That just cannot be happening. At the start of the game, the Timberwolves were looking good, but it was just the out-hustling by the Golden State Warriors. Look at Curry wide open. 23 points for Anthony Edwards. Something light in this game, but you're going to need to bring way more than that if you're going to have a chance against this Golden State Warriors team. They're not as bad as the Lakers, baby. Curry again cooking. Just unreal scenes so far here in the first round, but Golden State fans, I have some unfortunate news for you guys. Stephen Curry is going to leave the game with a hamstring injury. We don't know how severe it is. He's going to get an MRI, and hopefully we'll hear something in the next couple of hours, so make sure to stay tuned for that posted update. Look at that, he's asking to come out the game, and we know with hamstrings, me personally, I've had a hamstring injury before. It took me 4 weeks to recover from it. But obviously there's the NBA players, the best athletes in the world, with the best trainers and facilities in the world, so who knows what could happen. Draymond Green, 4 3-pointers in the first half, if you don't mind, to help stretch this lead to as big as 22 points at one stage. Jimmy Butler with the wide open cut. He had 20 points in this one, 11 rebounds, go along with 8 assists, something light for Jimmy Butler. And now you take game 1, and if Curry's really going to be out for this entire series, that's the worst case scenario. Can you imagine if Jimmy Butler can backpack this team? That is a ridiculous shot right there. Should have been on the N1. But can you imagine that Jimmy Butler can just somehow put this team on their back? But there's just a big part of me that thinks that this Minnesota Timberwolves is too good and they just got jumped in the first game. This is the first time in NBA history that every single home team has lost the first game in the second round, which is just crazy. The Minnesota Timberwolves would make a bit of a push towards the end, but unfortunately it was too little too late. But I'm not going to lie, I'm liking Steve Kerr's strategy. He was just chucking shit out there. Pat Spencer played 10 very important minutes in this game tonight. Everyone on his roster got at least 5 minutes besides some free plays. You know what I'm saying? That is, he played 12 plays tonight. Jimmy Butler just silencing the crowd quite a bit. Niles Reed actually played fantastic today. He's going to find Dante DiVincenzo, who's going to find an end for the splash to give him some life. But if you're the Timberwolves, you got to forget about this loss. You just have to come out next game with the same intensity. Look at that. The seats are empty with 30 seconds left. Jimmy Butler kicks off to Draymond, back to Jimmy Butler off the missed shot. That is crazy. This is a crazy good Game 1 win from the Golden State Warriors, especially with Stephen Curry only playing in that first quarter. This is going to be a big talking point moving forward, what the Minnesota Timberwolves could do, even if Curry's in or out. English, please, QB. I'm unbelievably confident in this Warriors team because Steve Kerr just keeps figuring out scenarios once and once again. But without Stephen Curry, I do think it's going to be over 5 or 6 games going to Timberwolves' way. Wow, what a day 2 to round 2.